Hey everyone, and welcome! If you're a teacher, you know the dream is to meet every single student's needs. But you also know the reality. It often comes at a huge personal cost. Well, today, we're going to dive into a totally new way of thinking about this, using AI to finally beat the burnout from differentiation, all while keeping you, the teacher, firmly in the driver's seat. Does this sound a little too familiar? It's the middle of the night, your eyes are blurry, and you're creating 3, maybe 4 different versions of the exact same lesson. You know, one that's a bit more simplified, one that's right on grade level, and one to really challenge your kids who are ready to fly. It's an incredible effort for sure, but man, is it exhausting. And that right there, that really gets to the core of what we can call the 3 a.m. planning problem. It's this fundamental conflict that pretty much every dedicated teacher on the planet faces. Look, we all know differentiation is just good teaching. It's about tailoring what we do to meet students where they are. But let's be real. In practice, it becomes this hidden tax on our time and our energy. It's a tax that gets paid late at night, on weekends, when no one else is watching. And you know what? This isn't just a hunch or a feeling. It is a stone-cold fact, and we've got the data to prove it. Big international surveys, like the OECD TALIS survey, consistently show that workload is one of the absolute top stressors for teachers around the world. So this problem is real, it's massive, and it's widespread. But what if technology could actually help shoulder some of that insane burden? This is where we get to shift gears from the problem to the promise. Let's take a look at how AI can step in, and this is key, not as a replacement for you, but as a powerful new assistant. The whole idea is actually pretty simple when you break it down. You give an AI tool a source lesson, something you've already got, and it drafts 3 different versions for you. But the most important part of that sentence is the end, which the teacher then reviews and refines. This is all about a human-in-the-loop process. You are the expert here. You're the final editor, the one making all the important pedagogical calls. So what do these different versions actually look like? Well, the foundation level gives you simplified content with built-in supports like definitions and extra examples. The standard level is your on-grade level material. And then the advanced level, that's where you get real enrichment, pushing students towards those higher-order thinking skills like evaluating and creating. It's pretty amazing. 1 single input, 3 highly targeted outputs. Okay, now to make this whole thing work well and more importantly, responsibly, it's not about just, plugging stuff into a chatbot and hoping for the best. Nope, you need a structured approach. You need a proper framework. And this is what we can call a human-AI collaborative loop. It's a simple, repeatable cycle. You start by defining your goals. The AI generates the first drafts. You review them critically. Then you try them out with students and see what happens. And based on that real evidence, you iterate and make them better. This whole loop is designed to keep you right at the center of the process, making decisions based on what's actually happening in your classroom. This entire framework is built on 4 really solid pillars. First, agency. That's a big one. It just means you are always in charge. Second, transparency. So you actually understand what the AI is doing and why. Third, equity. So you're actively checking for things like fair representation and plain language. And finally, evidence, using real results from your classroom to make things better next time. All right, that's the theory, that's the big picture. But how do you actually do this? Like tomorrow? Let's get into the practical, step-by-step playbook. So let's get super tangible here. Here is a prompt you could literally copy and paste for your foundational level. You can tell it something like, rewrite this passage at a specific reading level, pull out and define the key terms, give me a worked example, and then add 5 simple recall questions. See how specific that is? That's the secret sauce. You're guiding the AI to create exactly what you need. Now, for your on-level group, the prompt shifts a little. Here, you might ask for application questions, something that pushes kids beyond just remembering facts to actually using the information. See? We're leveling up the complexity. And for your advanced learners, this is where it gets really fun. The prompt elevates again. You can ask for evaluation-level questions or even a mini project. This isn't just about giving them more work. It's about giving them a different, more complex kind of work that offers some genuine enrichment. Now, once the AI has generated your drafts, here comes what is arguably the most important step of all, verification. I'm going to say this loud and clear. Never, ever use AI output in your classroom without reviewing it first. This simple little rubric can help you do it fast. Are the facts right? Do the tasks actually align with your learning goals? Is it equitable? This is your professional human quality control checkpoint. And that brings us to a really critical topic: using these tools safely and ethically. We have to be smart about this and put some clear guardrails in place. And let's be honest, it's the question on everyone's mind, right? What are the risks? We hear all the time about AI just making stuff up, hallucinating, or producing biased information, not to mention all the concerns around student privacy. And you know what? These are completely valid concerns that we have to tackle head on. But the answer isn't to just avoid the technology altogether. It's to use it wisely. Think of this checklist as your action plan. Rule number 1, always review the output. Rule 2, never upload any personally identifiable student information, period. Rule 3, teach academic integrity. And a great pro tip, start small. Just try this out with one unit first and see how it feels. And this quote really says it all. This is the core message of this entire approach. The mental shift you have to make is to see AI not as some kind of expert teacher, but as an infinitely patient, tireless first draft intern. You let it automate the grunt work of drafting, but you, the educator, you make the pedagogical decisions. You're the one who decides what good teaching looks like. And when you get this right, when this process starts clicking, oh man, the payoff is just enormous. It is all about getting back your most valuable, totally non-renewable resource, your time. So how big of a deal are we talking about? Well, a case study from the source material found a teacher literally cut her planning time for a differentiated lesson in half, from 90 minutes down to 45. I mean, that's not just a little tweak. That is a game-changing return on your investment. Which really brings us to our final thought here. Just imagine for a second getting hours back in your week, every single week. What could you do at that time? Maybe more one-on-one time with students who are struggling, more time to actually collaborate with your colleagues. Or hey, maybe, just maybe, more time for yourself and your family. That's the real promise of this whole revolution.